Okay, did everyone get a hold of the EFW somehow?
Yep.
I'm actually still downloading it.
Still downloading it?
Still downloading it.
All right, so it's a little tricky to virtualize, so I'm recording this right now in case you need to try and virtualize it next time, just to show you. But I'm going to first start with virtualizing it before I go into IP tables. This tool may help you or it may not help you in learning how a firewall works. If it helps you, great. If it doesn't, you don't need to learn it per se. You can just stick with standard IP tables, but if it does help you, please do. Another reason to use this tool is that it was in the last competition with, was it PCDC, I believe? And also it's free, which is also helpful as well. So I'm going to first start off by deleting my old version of this. Remove, delete all files. All right, now I'm going to create a new one. I'm going to call it Indian, and that's actually what the program is called. It's just an open source firewall implementation, and tell it that it is at least Linux. Sure, Ubuntu, it really doesn't matter. It's kind of its own version of Linux, pretty much stripped down and very basic, so it's not any flavor per se. 512 is going to be way more memory than it needs, which is fine. Create a hard drive. Sure, we'll create an 8 gig hard drive, VDI, dynamically allocated. I'm going to call it India. Notice I've been basically just taking the defaults because it's perfectly fine with that. We're not doing anything fancy. All right, first off, go into the settings of Indian. You want to make sure that your disk is actually pointing to the Indian ISA, that EFW community. You'll probably have to choose your virtual CD or disk file and then eventually navigate to it. So let me go ahead. If y'all are trying to follow me right now, I'm going to go ahead and give you a minute. Okay. Then you want to head over to network, and you want to make sure there are 2 network adapters. So adapter 1, adapter 2. Make sure it is attached via NAT.
So we created a virtual box?
Yes.
Okay. I meant to ask about that.
Yes.
Why do you use NAT instead of bridge for your wireless card?
For my
Yeah.
For
I
Indian?
Use on NAT, but then I switched it to bridge for like wireless card and for my.
Okay,
NAT
so
card.
if you're trying to access your own wireless card, you need to bridge it because that'll bridge it straight in. NAT is basically faking a new card. So if you notice that with NAT, I have, adapter type blah blah blah. But if I do bridge, actually no, it still opens it up as that adapter. I'm sorry.
Can we make it an expensive card?
Yeah, but the point of it, no. The point of it is that it's pretending to be another machine connected to your network over the whatever connection you have, wireless LAN or whatever. But with NAT, it's actually creating its own little local network.
Gotcha.
And so most of the time I just NAT it because it makes my life easier. We're just messing around with IP tables, so I'm going to leave it NATed with 2 network adapters. Oh, excuse me. All right, the other things you have to do, we're going to have to do some port forwarding rules, and this is where things get a little tricky. And the reason for this is that in order to SSH into this machine, you're going to need to basically be able to forward over to it, or to SSH into the machine. Since it's inside of its own network, and I highly recommend doing it that way it stays disconnected from everyone else, since you are doing some type of security work. Rule 1, TCP host, you want to make it yourself, 127.0.0.1.
Wait, how do you get to the port forwarding rules again?
Cancel.
Go to network.
Go to settings,
and then
network,
go to advanced, then go to
port forwarding.
what one?
All right, rule 1, host 127.0.0.1.
You have to do that.
Host port, I'll just make up one, all 2s, guest port.
No, you can't.
Ooh, we need to come up with an IP for our internal machine. What IP should it have?
1337.
10.0.1.113.
You said it so slowly though. So
I will give it port 20, sure, and guest port 22.
you can't give it one for
And you also need to do the same thing for port 80. So I'll make it the host, my own port 888, and the guest 10.0.1.20. and its own internal 888 port. All right, and there's a third one, but I forgot it, so we're going to add this later when we get back to it. So I'm going to click OK.
What was the guest IP for the second one?
10.0.1.20. Just make them all 10.0.1.20. I'm going to go ahead and kick this off.
Got it.
So loading.
I don't have a hard drive space to install this last week.
It's only 8 gigs.
Yeah, I only have 12 left.
Oh, okay.
Is it okay if I SSH into one of y'all's machines?
Yes.
Great.
You don't need to use this. If this helps you understand how it works, great. If it doesn't, don't use it.
That's tiny.
I don't know, what does this mean?
Click OK.
Do you have guest editions installed?
What does this mean? It says error.
I'm getting the same thing.
Right control or something, right?
Maybe set to 0. Click OK. What do you have set to 0? No, host port needs to be straight 2s, and then 4 2s, and then the other one straight 4 8s. All right. Unless you're
Correct.
German or Italian, you want to make it English. All right, that's nice. Detecting disks. Warning, everything's going to be deleted. Yes. I think you just click do it, and it's going to go.
Where's the do it button?
That was, I just kept hitting OK until it just started,
okay.
stopped complaining, I just did it. Making root faucet, installing the packages.
Can you actually post this video on?
It's full screen.
I'm going to, yes.
I don't know.
Seems like last time I checked for security, you didn't post some of the videos.
Oh, okay, well make sure you remind me right after I finish recording, that way I'll do it immediately. Our console of the serial port, well that would be really cute in virtual machine, but just say no. IP address 10.0.1.20, because we made that up last time. So that's what we said we want our guest IP to be, and we'll hit OK. By the way, if you're under VirtualBox, the default NAT is a 10.0.1, basically subnet, so you want to start with those 3 numbers under VirtualBox. Click OK. Running the post installation. This may take a while. Oh, okay. I would like you to know that they are trying to secure everything. You can see by what's written up there.
Why not just throw it on Kali Linux itself?
Hey, are we supposed to put yes where you can enable a console over your serial port?
No.
No.
That'd be cute, but no.
That's what it's on.
All right. Successfully install. Please remove any media. All right. And then point your web browser to 10.4.4.3. Okay, so that's the port that I forgot about earlier, so I'm going to write it up on the board. So I'll remember it. Instead of opening Word or whatever, VI, I'm just going to do that. I hit OK. Wait for it to turn off. Hopefully. Reboot. All right, once you see it rebooting, I'm going to actually close this off and power it because we need to set up the one last port forwarding thing.
What were we supposed to do for the IP address?
10.0.1.20. All right, I'm going to put on settings. Going to go back to network, adapter 1, advanced, port forwarding. Going to add a new rule back to our local machine. Make it port 10.0.4.4.3, 10.0.1.20, 10.0.4.4.3. That way our local port will go to our virtualized machine's port. Click OK, click OK. Start it up.
10.4.3, right?
Yeah. I think once I have this up and running, I'm going to cut the video off and then immediately put it up on YouTube for you guys.
Nice.
So then when it comes up, work is still pending. Great. How are we? Great. Whoa. Oh, okay. Haven't seen that error before. It's still going, so I'm going to give it a minute. Oh yeah, the first time it boots up, it does have to generate its keys. This is going to take a long time. Didn't seem that bad. All right, and then now it's loaded up on its main screen. If you look up top up here, console I start. At 5%, it's still actually going to take a while to load everything up. But we'll see if the web browser's up. If the web browser's actually up, you can go over on your local machine, and you would want to go to localhost colon 48, and the web browser is not up. 24%, so it's still trying to set everything up. Maybe. Real quickly, a couple things. You can't drop to a shell by pressing 0. 1 reboots. 2 changes the root password. I'm going to just change the root password. The default root password is Indian with an E, E-N-D-I-A-N. I'll type it over here. E-N-D-I-A-N is the default root password. For the new password, I'm going to give myself my own root password. Great. Notice that a lot of programs are starting to come up over there. Press enter. And let's see, how's it going? Are you up yet? Now you probably also want to change the admin password. So I'll put in my root password again, and then I'll put in the new admin password. Perfect. All right. And hopefully this thing is up and running. Stop. Localhost. Nope, not yet. Actually, it says it's active. Let's see if I can ping him. Oh wait, I'm not in the internal network, so I can't ping him. But he should come out to there. I'll try the other port. Localhost 43. No dice. Make sure my settings are correct. Port 80 to localhost, guest IP. Yeah, those are correct. And you should be up. Where are we? Where's the stop? Where's the stop? There we go. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and reboot the VM and see if that's what's causing the issue. Sure, we'll reboot. I'm going to stop the recording here, so at least if y'all need some help, you can come up